Leviticus chapter 15 and verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean. Let's jump down to verse 31. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 12. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, the Lord seeth us not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth. Demonic spirits are being channeled through your iPhone. Then your phone is there, ready to plant idols in your mind if you decide to make social media a priority before Yahweh when you wake up in the morning. Psalms chapter 55, verse 17. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. Make Yahweh your priority every morning. Yah wants the first fruits of everything. It helps to counter the preemptive strike from unclean spirits. When these types of instances come upon you, you have to ask yourself, what type of spiritual things have you been recently entertaining to help give these types of spirits the fuel they need to work harder against you? Corrosion, Satan's secret weapon of warfare. Satan has manifold devices set up in place to tug away at your spirit in a very subtle way. It's similar to the terminology death by 1,000 cuts, to where your blood is being siphoned over time to the point where you're on the brink of death. This same concept applies to the devices set in place by Satan to drain your spiritual life force energy slowly over time. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 5. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward at the gate of the altar, this image of jealousy in the entry. Verse 6. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here, that I should go far from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. Verse 7. And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Verse 8. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. Verse 9. And he said unto me, Go in, and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. Verse 10. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping thing, and abominable beast, and all idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about. Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 13. He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Verse 14. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. So as we can see, Israel, our ancestors, turned Yah's house into a brothel, which is also a fertility cult to pay reference to the gods of the Canaanites. What is a brothel? The definition says, a house where men can visit prostitutes. The priests and the leaders of Israel have turned Yah's holy abode into a place of whoredom and fornication. So he in turn will always render unto us what we have done to him in his house. Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 18. Therefore will I also deal in fury. Mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them. Why would Yeshua not hear them? Because of the type of spirits they were entertaining by way of the images of jealousy. Once again, we see an example of channeling the wrong types of spirits, which can cause the mind to go down further into darkness. At the gate of the temple, we saw images of jealousy. As we go further into the dark through the door at the hole in the wall, everything starts to get more and more reprobate, similar to how these unclean spirits infect our minds if we don't check ourselves at the beginning. These unclean spirits are not going to attack you head on. They will attack you preemptively by making their way in through a hole in the wall. Who is Tammuz? Let's get some information. Tammuz, in Mesopotamian religion, god of fertility, embodying the powers for new life in nature in the spring. And at the bottom, cult. So this is part of the fertility cults of the Canaanites. So in ancient times, under the influence of the other nations, the daughters of Zion would consult their false gods whenever they were barren and wanted to be fertile to have children. This is another form of witchcraft and sorcery which has our people consulting demonic familiar spirits, similar to the examples in the last lesson concerning Saul. Remember, the demonic spirit told Saul that the Philistines would kill him. But how did Saul die? Demonic spirits always tell half-truths. That's how they draw you in. Yah is in control of all things. 1 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 5. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb. Verse 6. And her adversary also provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut up her womb. And Hannah never consulted any familiar spirits. Even when she was mocked, she still put her trust in Yah. Verse 7. And as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept, and did not eat. Year by year, it says. But how long did it take before Saul got irritated with Yah's righteous order and decided to take matters into his own hands? A couple days? A few hours? So as we can see, being childbearing is a sore vexation unto the women of Israel back in ancient times. But Hannah did not lose faith in Yah, and decided not to do some of the other things that some of the other daughters of Zion were doing, by consulting demonic spirits under the concept of, which we would call in modern day times, my body, my choice, which is a concept that encourages them to go outside of Yah's order and commit whoredom and fornication. And just like we see today, similar to the sons of Eli, the wicked men and leaders of Israel were pimping out the daughters of Zion in these fertility cults, while simultaneously chasing the women of the other nations. Diana of the Ephesians is a significant figure in ancient mythology, primarily associated with the city of Ephesus in modern-day Turkey. She is often identified with the Roman goddesses Diana and the Greek goddess Artemis. Acts chapter 19 and verse 20. So mightily grew the word of Yah and prevailed. Verse 23. In the same time there arose no small stir about that way. Verse 24. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen. Verse 26. Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods, which are made with hands. Forasmuch then as we are the offspring of Yah, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device. We do not pay reverence to Yah by way of a graven image. This is blasphemy. Let's go back up to verse 19. Many of them also which use curious arts brought their books together, and burned them before all men. And they counted the price of them, and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. Remember, it was called curious arts. Demonic spirits can also be channeled through these pagan objects of wood and stone. Verse 27. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth. Verse 28. And when they heard these things, they were full of wrath, and cried out, saying, Great is Diana of the Ephesians.
What the fuck? Y'all got that okay card 911? Get the license plate. Get the license plate. Did y'all get the license plate? Y'all get the license plate?
That was too fast.
License plate. All right? Because who?
Hey, watch out, watch out.
Right. Watch out.
Hey, get a license.
Yeah, get a license plate. Get a license plate.
Get the license.
Get the license plate.
Go get it.
Dude, watch out, dude. Watch out, dude.
Yeah, she crazy.
Where's he going?
If she ain't drunk,
Get the license.
she ain't drunk driving. Hey, take this at all.
Hey, bro, I gotta get some information. You got a phone? Hey. Right. She ain't stopping that. We ain't stopping. She coming back.
Hey, keep getting it, bro.
Hey, let's get it. Oh,
Here she come again. Look, hey.
Hey, I have no idea.
Right, that ain't drunk driving.
She crazy.
Hey, she coming back. She coming back. She coming back. Get out of the way. Hey, coming back. Hey, we are on the this girl. Hey, what the hell is this girl, man?
Hate crime. crimes are on the rise here in Montana and across the country, and the FBI is now looking into an incident that happened here on North 27th Street on Saturday. Police say a woman drove through a religious group, and many are asking whether what happened here is a hate crime.
She was just, should I just go run them over with my Jeep? And none of us thought she was serious, and she did it.
Sarah Gebhardt was one of the few who saw firsthand what happened in this Albertsons parking lot Saturday. She was working at the convenience store across the street when 55-year-old Genevieve Rancoret came in, appearing intoxicated, complaining about the group demonstrating along the street.
I've heard a lot of opinions about how they think she was being racist and hating on the religion. I want to make it clear that that wasn't what she was upset about. She was upset about the exclusion of a certain race from what they were saying.
Gebhardt didn't feel comfortable talking about what happened next on camera, but says Rancoret proceeded to drive at the group not once, but several times.
I actually went out to the corner to try and see if I could get her attention and tell her to stop, but she didn't look my way.
Police say those demonstrators were members of Israel United in Christ, a group that the Anti-Defamation League says is a prominent sect of the Black Hebrew Israelites movement, which espouses a theory that Jews aren't really Jewish, claiming instead the only true Jews are people who descended from Africa or other continents of color.
In the past, these groups have compared Jews to the devil, have blamed them for world events, and have really just, unfortunately, advanced anti-Semitism more generally.
And that makes this a complicated situation as authorities investigate whether Rancoret's actions, which were possibly motivated by a hate group, rise to the level of being a hate crime.
Their race, their religious beliefs, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation. We have to be able to prove that someone committed a violent act against someone because they're a member of a protected class.
ADL doesn't feel that this needs to be investigated as a hate crime. We don't feel that it is necessarily a hate crime. We're just sort of assessing.
The FBI is now reviewing the case, and only time will tell whether the 55-year-old could face even more serious charges. But one thing is certain, hate crimes are on the rise here in Montana and beyond.
We're seeing the highest levels of hate crimes in at least 20 years.
In Billings, Alina Howder, MTN News.
In a shocking turn of events, the woman who is accused of murdering a mailman during a disagreement in a Harlem deli has confessed to the crime. Prosecutors say that she showed no remorse, even stating that the father of 2 kids deserved it. The woman's name is Jaya Cruz. She's 24 years old and she found herself in a packed courtroom facing a charge of second-degree murder. The man she's accused of killing is Ray Hodges, a 36-year-old USPS mailman. Prosecutors say that the whole thing started when Hodges confronted Cruz about cutting in line at the deli counter. The court hearing shed some light on the rather disturbing details of the incident that took place on January 2nd at Joe's Deli Grocery. Among the revelations was Cruz's alleged cold-hearted declaration that Hodges deserved it, a statement she made as he lay dying. Cruz pleaded not guilty to the charges and was denied bail by the judge. Her defense lawyer, Mitchell Schumann, presented a different version of the events.
Pause. Now, why is you outside in the middle of the street fighting this demon over a club sandwich? Or whatever this thing is. Come on, Israel, we gotta do better than this. Let's get some comments for clarity. I mean, Buddy outside fighting a monster, literally. Haven't we learned anything from the video games? When you see something like this, you're supposed to run.
Why is it dark over there? Y'all hear breathing? Or is it just me?
Oh my God! What the freak? Bro! What the heck? Yo! What? Like, move! Move! Where am I going?
He argued that Cruz, who is a transgender woman, was being harassed by Hodges, who he portrayed as the instigator of the conflict. Schumann stated that security footage showed Hodges throwing insults at Cruz, and that she only used her pocket knife, which she had bought from a dollar store just prior to the incident, because she felt threatened. The defense's argument that Cruz was defending herself against hateful harassment caused a stir in the courtroom. People were divided, some were friends, family, and colleagues of Hodges, and others were supporters of Cruz. Tensions ran high, and one of Hodges' supporters was even escorted out of the courtroom following an outburst. Court documents suggest that Cruz confessed to stabbing Hodges in statements she made to police and investigators after being arrested. She even indicated that she didn't feel guilty and expressed disdain for Hodges. Hodges suffered stab wounds to his lung, liver, and blood vessels. Cruz had a previous criminal record, including incidents where she threatened people with a box cutter and a knife. She was also the victim of a violent robbery in June. Cruz is due back in court on April 16. The shocking daytime stabbing has rattled the community, with many people mourning the loss of Hodges, a well-loved mailman and father of two.
So as we can see, Israel, as the word of Yah is continuously magnified in the earth, these people who are hosts for these demonic spirits are waxing worse and worse by the day. Everybody is on edge, and as their kingdom continues to fall, Israel will be spearheaded into being public enemy number one. Aphrodite Temple. Let's get some information here on the article. What about the 1,000 prostitutes? Mythawker writes, 1,000 prostitutes who were religious prostitutes, referring back to the cult, religious cults, lived and worked there and came down into the city in the evening to offer their services to male citizens and foreign visitors. And at the bottom it reads, Venus, the venerated mother of the imperial family and the highly respected patroness of Corinth, and was no longer a sex symbol after Paul left Corinth. So let's tie it in, right? Temples and divination centers and their effect on Greek mentality. Divination and fortune telling have become a firm belief in Greek culture among commoners and private people alike. Greek fortune tellers were divided into classes and ranks that reflected their ability to communicate with gods, and we all know that is familiar spirits according to scripture, and interpret the mysterious speeches of the gods. And let's get the etymology definition of divination. Divination is the attempt to gain insight into a question or situation by way of an occultic ritual or practice. Diviners ascertain their interpretations of how a querent should proceed by reading signs, events, or omens, or through alleged contact or interaction with supernatural agencies such as spirits, gods, godlike beings, or the will of the universe. So tying this back into the situation with our ancestor Hannah, she never consulted the familiar spirit of Tammuz. She prayed directly to Yah for answers. So the fertility cults used divination to consult the familiar spirits to encourage the daughters of Zion to commit whoredom and fornication. Fertility cults, temple prostitution, and divination go hand in hand, and this is what we see all over social media. And as we can see, they are using all these different objects together to channel demonic energy. They got a crystal ball, some dice, some bone fragments, they even got a baby arm. I mean, just sick, Israel. Be careful who you let in your house, and also be careful what you let in your house, because you don't know what type of demonic spirit that it is a host for. Acts chapter 19 and verse 35. And when the town clerk had appeased the people, he said, Ye men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not how that the city of the Ephesians is the worshipper of the great goddess Diana, and of the image which fell down from Jupiter? Jupiter is a reincarnation of Zeus. Zeus is a reincarnation of Baal, the god of the Grecians, which is worshipped by the whole world, as we just read. So the understanding that we've just obtained is that books, objects, items, trinkets, artifacts, even food sacrificed to idols, etc. can be hosts for demonic spirits. Let's prove that without a shadow of a doubt. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 5 and verse 1. And the Philistines took the ark of Yah and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod. Verse 2. When the Philistines took the ark of Yah, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. Verse 3. And when they of Ashdod arose early in the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of Yah. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again. Verse 4. And when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of Yah. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him. Verse 5. Therefore neither the priests of Dagon nor any that came into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod unto this day. They were absolutely terrified because Dagon's head was cut off while no one was present. They never stepped foot back up in there.
Let me tell you something. What? Y'all better stop playing in God's face out here. Cause God getting his lick back. And don't nobody hit back or hit harder than God. Y'all ever heard about that Annabelle voodoo doll? Well, the man that handles that doll fell dead in the most haunted city in the U.S., Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And this ain't the first life that damn voodoo doll done took. That damn demonic doll done turned on his own handler. Y'all still think God ain't real, because y'all be all like, God ain't real. Y'all done replace the word God with the word universe, but that's a whole nother story. Y'all really think spirits and souls don't exist? Dan Rivera was once a man of God. He was a priest that converted over into a paranormal investigator. Well, he died while hosting the Devils on the Run tour at the age of 54 years old. He made his life exposing demons and hauntings and everything the church wouldn't speak on. But he had one rule: never mock what you don't understand. Until the night he met her, Annabelle. Annabelle, the cursed doll, locked behind the goddamn glass, sealed in prayer, feared by even the bravest exorcists. Dan and his partner, Marcus Hill, entered the Warren Museum after hours to document what they believed was a myth. Cameras was rolling. Holy water was in hand. But faith alone couldn't save them. At exactly 2:13 in the morning, Marcus went silent. Found in the corner, eyes missing, lips moving in reverse, Latin in his lap, sat Annabelle. Her face no longer blank, but smirking. Dan ran, Bible clutched to his chest, praying louder with every step. God, please, God, please. But his prayers would be heard because he done played with God. They say the devil doesn't come in flames. He comes in silence. Dan's body was discovered the next morning in the hallway. His spine was twisted backwards. No wounds, no blood, just a frozen scream. And Annabelle was back in her case, clean as a whistle, sharp as a pencil. Now, some people say Dan's soul is still trapped in that museum right now. The body gone, but the soul's still in there with Annabelle bald-head ass. Others say his voice can be heard whispering Psalms 23 at night. But one thing is for goddamn certain, Annabelle wasn't just a dog. She was a doorway, and Dan Rivera never made it back through that goddamn door, cause he gone. Listen, spirits are real. Y'all better leave that dog demonic shit alone, cause y'all gonna around and find out. Why would this dodo head go anywhere with that goddamn dog? Who is his woo lady? Cause he must, the woo lady he go to must be related to Miss Cleo. He must found her in the middle of the mall. Cause ain't no way he's supposed to be playing with dolls and shit. And y'all probably don't know this, but every horror movie that come out in the movie theaters comes with a sacrifice. Somebody always die, either on set while filming that movie, or behind the scenes, or family members of one of the goddamn actors die. Y'all can look that shit up. The devil don't play no games. He definitely the god of that paranormal activity shit. He used that damn voodoo doll to snatch this man's soul. Stop playing with God. Y'all comment below and let me know if y'all heard of the Annabelle doll, or if y'all heard of goddamn Dan Rivera, whatever his name. The boy talk crazy. Y'all comment below, like the video, make sure y'all share the video. Stop playing with God, boy, before I go upside your head. Wait a minute.
Paranormal activity, a modern day term used by the Gentiles who do not have the proper understanding of the things that are happening in the spiritual realm. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 12. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. It rains on the just and the unjust, and you will have a fiery trial, whether in the truth or not. But choosing to focus your attention on the cares of the world, rather than Yah, you will invite unclean spirits into your home. Just like the man who did not have his house in order when he decided to hold on to the Babylonian garments in the wilderness, and his entire house paid the consequence because of it. The Babylonian garment was an item of clothing that was a host for a particular spirit. Yah's spirit rests on the Ark of the Covenant that the law, statutes, and commandments are contained within. Any demonic familiar spirit that comes up against something that Yah's spirit rests upon, it will fall or flee. As things turn for the worse and you have an encounter with these evil spirits, how do you think they will respond to you if your spirit is more aligned with the idols of this world rather than Yah's spirit?